Alright, what's going on, Anthem Central? My name is Matt and welcome back to the channel today, and I'm bringing you guys a little news video on some future post-launch sort of roadmap we should be seeing in Anthem. This was recently discussed in an interview with some of the developers, and I think this is something very important to discuss, and I do believe that this is something that I should cover in the video for you guys today. So, what is the roadmap for Anthem going to look like? And that's basically the whole theme of this overall interview, and they talked about a few things that were sort of important to them. And they said that basically they started developing Anthem right after the release of Mass Effect 3, which unfortunately I never played. But they started developing Anthem a little bit after, and they developed this game 5 years ago, and the developers basically are saying, you know, back then there really was no reason to have any really interconnected, you know, online thing, at least not in comparison to what we have now. They said that, you know, Twitch wasn't nearly as big as it was, Fortnite wasn't as big as it was, and I'm not making this up. This is what one of the developers said, so don't blame me for bringing in Fortnite here, but this is what one of the developers said, and it's true. You know, using the most popular game in the world as a metric for success, I think, is sometimes an okay idea. Not always, but I think sometimes it means something, and their whole point here was that, you know, 5 years ago, the online gaming scene was much different. And obviously, back in 2014, it was much different than 5 years before that, in 2009. Take a look at Twitter, YouTube. There were a lot of different avenues, and to me at least, I believe that if you have some type of kind of market you have to break into, in this case being the online gaming, streaming, broadcasting, the online gaming world, if you have some type of market like that to break into, you should take all available measures to do that. And that's essentially what the developers were saying in this interview. They're going for as much endgame content that they could add, as much customization and immersion that they could possibly think of. So they've said in a couple things, regards to some of the sort of revenue stream options, of course, for post-launch stuff. They said that at launch they're going to only have cosmetic stuff, and post-launch it will depend on feedback from the consumers. Now obviously, I'm sure as you guys know and the rest of the world knows at this point, EA doesn't have a very good reputation. So if they really do follow through with this, the feedback they will be taking from the consumers, I would hope, would be very fair. I would hope this wouldn't be anything serious because, as I'm sure you guys can tell, EA doesn't have a good reputation, and I highly doubt that fans would urge them to add a massive amount of microtransactions. Me personally, I have no issues with cosmetic stuff. I think it is a fine way to support yourself as a developer, but once it reaches past that, once it reaches past the cosmetic level and actually covers involvement in the game, that's when I change my tune a little bit. But also there was a little discussion on the roadmap for post-launch, the overall content. So they said that they're going to be adding different cosmetic items, different creatures, and maybe a new region to explore, which I think would always be very exciting because obviously we are slowly starting to learn about our current map, and obviously, as I'm sure you guys can tell, the game kind of shows you exactly all the different regions you get to go for. Obviously, during the betas, you won't have a chance to see everything, but during these demos, you get a little bit of a feel for the way this world works and the way it's designed, and honestly, a lot of the regions do look kind of similar, and that's not always a bad idea. I don't see anything overly wrong with that, but it would be nice to see new events, new weather states, new creatures, new items, and new regions, as they've said in this interview. They've said this game is dynamic. If you have rain right now, it applies to your jets, and you could fly for longer as it cools them down, and I think I actually experienced that during the demo when I would run through that one, like, sort of like waterfall thing right after leaving the sort of free play, like the beginning of the free play hub, right after jumping off and going and exploring. I remembered running through that stream and saying, wow, this is weird, man. Why didn't my thrusters run out of energy? Why didn't that happen? And then I realized after this was some, you know, form of attempt at dynamic sort of environments, allowing you to, you know, cool your character or whatnot, and that's something that they have said here. You know, using electricity, different weather states, new parts of the world. You know, it's a whole really nice mix, and all in all, it does seem that they're going for things, you know, such as daytime and nighttime inversion, and using all these different variables to, as they've said, create a new narrative for the game. All in all, guys, I really do want to thank you guys so much for watching. That was it. Just wanted to give you guys a little kind of interview, a little filling in of this interview here, and showing you guys kind of what they said about the future of this game and the sort of end game roadmap for what we know so far. If you guys enjoyed, definitely don't forget to leave a like, and if you made it up to this point in the video, drop a comment down below saying Ranger, just the word Ranger, just to prove you made it up to the 4-minute and 30-second mark. Thank you guys so much as always. Join my Discord, follow my Twitch, down below in the description. I'll see you beautiful people on the next one. Peace.